a movement here. Obviously, Charlie inspired all of us. And what we need to do now is we need to mentor those children who are now in college, who are now in their 30s. We need to recruit them to run for office. We need to support them, to support candidates of whatever political party. It doesn't matter as long as they believe in the Constitution and our shared values. We had some candidates today, although this isn't a political rally, but Charlie was political in a way. He helped President Trump win this last election because he was in charge of the western swing states, and that basically helped save this country. I have one funny Charlie Kirk story. Commander Furman and I actually went to Michigan last year, and we saw President Trump speak, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and of course Charlie Kirk. But before that, I was Trump staffer in 2016, and I flew to D.C. and I wanted to see President Trump, new administration in January 2017, and I was at this private event, and I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. He wasn't even famous in 2017. He was actually not a Trump guy at the beginning, but of course he became such a key component of this movement. So I was at this private event with a bunch of others, and actually Chuck Hagee and Dr. James Dobson were there, and nuns and all these faith-based people were at the center table. And I was over on the side, and I said, I'm a former Trump staffer. I'm going to scoot over tables because I deserve to be in front of the president. I'm a paid Trump staffer. I'm going to get the best video. And all of a sudden, somebody else does it from the other side. And it's this tall, lanky guy like me, dark hair, big smile, and it turned out to be Charlie Kirk. So we're both there, not supposed to be at the VIP table, as we're there hunkering down, and we're the closest to President Trump, and he's looking at us at our table, and he goes, I'd like to thank Dr. James Dobson right there. I'd like to thank Chuck Hagee right there. And Charlie and I look at each other, and we're like, we're not supposed to be here. And we slink down, we look behind us, and we're like, oh my goodness, that's Dr. James, that's Chuck Hagee. And this little boy named Jacob was there. And if you ever remember that famous photo of President Trump at the Arlington National Cemetery with that little boy in the Marine Corps who lost his father, that little boy was there. And so all of a sudden, I'm videoing, looking at this VIP table that we're not supposed to be at, and President says, I'd like to thank Jacob, that little boy lost his father. And then Charlie and I look at each other, we're like, we better move out of here. So I've done 20 years of political campaigns. Bush Cheney 04 was my first one. We may not like him more or less because he was a warmonger, whatever you want to say about him. I worked in 06 for a governor candidate in Oregon. I tried to stop Obama in 08 best I could. 2012, I worked for Mitt Romney. Not a big fan of him, obviously, these days because we have better candidates with the American First Movement. Then in 2016, President Trump hired me in Oregon, of all places, to stop Ted Cruz from beating Trump for the nomination. So what I'm trying, and then I've helped Commander Jay Furman, I've helped Kyle Sinclair for Congress, love Misty Spears, all of our conservative candidates, Mark LaHood, we have so many great people. We have new 5 districts here in Texas, 35 just east of here, 28 in Laredo, we're gonna beat Henry Cuellar. What you can do today, register to vote your neighbors. Get 5 people to register to vote this week in honor of Charlie. Join a group, join a movement. Remember the Tea Party. Remember that movement in 2010 to restrain the federal government? Let's do it again in memory of Charlie and make this movement better than ever. I'm Tim Lucier. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that.